Well, a few minutes ago was a sleet snow here at State College, but I see it's gone away for a while. It
It's
looks
snowing.
like, go ahead.
It's snowing here in the Poconos.
Oh, is that where you are, Tom?
Yeah, you can't see me for some reason. My camera doesn't want to work. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm looking outside now. Of course, you can't see that, but
Not yet. You'll figure it out.
yeah, it's called son-in-law.
Do you have snow on the ground?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Not on the roadways, just on the grass, the patio, the leaves. What leaves? There's twigs on the.
I got rid of the leaves on in our garden a couple of weeks ago. Well, let's see, it's about 9 o'clock. We'll just wait a few more minutes and see if we can get some other people online. Tom, right now, and Katrin, you're the lone non-APS employees that are on here right now, so we'll wait a couple of minutes.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me anyway.
You're welcome. Tell your friends.
My daughter.
I will. I did share it on Facebook earlier, so hopefully some people might join in the next round.
They will.
Yeah, you have to start out somewhere and then build from there. We'll experiment with different times for this as we go along.
Yeah, but Tom, you know us old people, we don't like to be this close right now with people, and you may be transmitting something to me.
Hopefully all I'm transmitting is personality. And and a view of my Mr. Met coffee mug.
Yay! We all get to see the interior of each other's houses.
I'm
All right, well, there's my coffee mug.
Yeah, here's
The study I see there, Gary.
I know.
It's very fancy.
That's my stamp room.
Very nice.
Heidi's drinking. I don't know what.
Java.
It's in a can.
I know, it's my whatever. It's my travel mug, my trusty travel mug. So I just walked into my daughter in my room. You should see, class is happening. It's so cute to walk in and you hear all the kids on Zoom right now.
Oh, that's right. Their official classes started today again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cute to hear them like, push that button. No, push that button. Push that button.
Oh. Okay, well, I'll get started. I just had a few things to go over and tell people about. So, of course, if we would like you to turn on your camera if possible, mute your microphone when you're not speaking. Feel free to tell us your stamp story, have something to show, and feel free to engage in the conversation this morning. Just to update everyone on the APS operations. As of Friday, the American Philatelic Center was closed. Our functions, including the library, the stamp store, and expertising were closed at that time. But we remain open to our members through our website, stamps.org, and our membership services are open. The phone is ringing. And if you have questions about anything, feel free to call in. And it may take us a little longer to get to you and answer your questions, but we do value our members, and we'll make sure to if not have the answer as soon as we can, we'll have the answer, shortly. So appreciate everyone's patience while we get ready to this hopefully temporary new reality. For those of you who may not be members of the American Philatelic Society, we have opened up free digital access to our magazine. So if anyone is interested in stamp collecting, if they go to our website and go to the page for the American Philatelist, they will be asked to register and sign up, and then have free access to the digital copy of the magazine. And we just posted our April issue, which is Holocaust Remembrance Month. So we have several very nice articles that talk about how the mail services operated during the Holocaust. And it's a very special issue, and I hope everyone enjoys reading that. The free digital access extends to other magazines that are in that shelf. This just happens to be the one that has just been downloaded, sent to the publisher, and should be in hopefully in mailboxes soon, around the first of the month. We have a couple of other things going on today. On the APS YouTube channel, we're going to have a few movies that we're going to show, presentations. They will be premiere events, so if you join and get the message at 4 o'clock, you'll be able to watch with your friends at 4 o'clock. We have one called Fancy Cancels, and then at 7 o'clock we have one talking about the American Revolution. Oop. Anybody have any questions about operations or anything like that regarding the APS?
When somebody hops off the mic, it sounds like there's traffic going by. There. You hear that?
I did. I'm not sure. I don't think it's me. I'm in my dining room, and there's no traffic going around at this point. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm in the basement. All I got is animals roaming out back here. I can see some deer.
Oh. Okay.
So
Well,
far, so good. What are you going to do right now? So far, so good.
You mean with this chat?
No. The chat is going very well, and it's
Yeah.
very informative. I just mean, rather than being up and close in person up there at Belfont, we're stuck,
Yeah, we are. But we're making the best of it at this point. I know
That's right.
everyone is hunkering down and settling in. And as far as work goes, a new reality when it comes to working from home. I haven't done a lot of this in my career. Getting used to it as we go along. I'm sure other people are as well. So we're all basically working from our dining rooms, kitchens, family rooms, wherever, to figure out what services we can continue to provide as we go through this. And this is just one of those things that we're going to do for the foreseeable future.
That's a great idea.
Well, great. Maybe I'll start with a conversation starter this morning that I happened to see this morning. We posted on our Twitter feed. Heidi put that up on our Twitter feed. The fact that there's the possibility of a stamp from China talking about COVID-19, and on the 19th, Iran issued a stamp. I guess the question I had was, without getting into political aspects of the world, just from the stamp collecting world, about the what people thought about the appropriateness of producing stamps during this time that are focused on the virus. Anyone have any thoughts?
Come on, Gary.
I think it's ironic that Iran puts out a stamp and is doing nothing really for their people. As far as I can tell. I mean, yeah, they're treating some, but it just, that's going to be, what do we call it? Wallpaper eventually to some people, I think. I don't think it's a remembrance stamp that you want to remember this. I just think that's a way of trying to get money into their system, which they don't have.
Yeah, well, they're trying to, they're focusing on the healthcare workers on both issues. So I don't know if they are doing anything. If it's, I guess it's not what we would call a semi-postal. I didn't hear any information that they were, using the stamp to give money to their, various, if they have charitable concerns or not. Did anyone else have any thoughts about these?
Guys, a lot of people's mics are muted, so.
Okay, thank you for
Mine,
that.
There we go.
This is absolutely typical of what pretty much every nation does at various points in time, which is using stamps as both an image of the country itself through its iconography, but more importantly, as a propaganda vehicle. That's not a criticism. Every nation has done it. And these are just two extremely current examples. So there's nothing unusual or new about it.
Mm-hmm.
And were there other historical stamps? Anyone? I didn't research like polio stamps and things like that have come up in the past. And perhaps does anyone have any idea of the history behind some of those issues before? Were they during or after the crisis?
Well, you'll see Red Cross related stamps throughout different points in time. Just even going back to, say, 1931, which was the 50th anniversary in the United States of the Red Cross. And we issued a postage stamp back then. There was no particular theme other than the celebration of the Red Cross's anniversary. But I mean, thematically, countries use stamps to tell stories about what's important to them at any moment in time.
Right. Tom, you have any thoughts on that?
Well, there's been, like Gary said, semi-postals, which our country uses, and a lot of the foreign countries were using semi-postals to raise money for, Red Cross, cancer, or there was one, Tom, help me, I can't remember what it was. It was a Cinderella, but it was to raise money in Spain, I believe, for the people with leprosy. There was a
Right.
leprosy Cinderella that came out many years ago, well, way ago. Like, and that was used to raise money for that. It was just a group of people that put that stamp out to raise money. It wasn't even a federal issue of any kind. But I know it was Spain or Italy, one of those two.
Right.
You remember that, Tommy? I know I have it here somewhere. I can't show it to you, though.
I actually, let's see.
Well, they're certainly powerful images, I'll tell you that,
Right.
with those big masks and everything.
Anybody see that? I've got my old Liberty stamp album. And here you go, 1957 polio stamp. I'm sure there were others, weren't there?
Well, the doctor stamp, the doctor's
Right.
3-cent stamp. But I don't know if that was for a crisis. It was earlier.
Right. Right.
I don't know if there was any others with polio or anything like, I mean, other than
Mhm.
polio.
Right. Katrin, any stamps in the UK that you recall about health concerns like that?
Not that I can think of, and specifically like, I feel like there was something issued for HIV, perhaps.
Right.
Set of stamps. I can't remember what that was for now. I can look it up. Yeah, it's not in my realm of collecting, I'm afraid.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure I saw someone had posted something the other day about the HIV virus on a stamp.
Right.
But yeah, I'd have to have a look.
Yeah, there
Yeah, I
was
just
a
feel like, oh, sorry.
no, go.
I just feel like maybe it's a little bit inappropriate to issue some stamps at this time.
Maybe too soon.
It is
Too
too soon, I
soon.
think. Yeah, they should have
Too soon.
waited maybe 2 years.
But there was a stamp for diabetes put out, American Diabetic Society. I gave that to some of my doctors since I'm a diabetic, so.
Right. Bob, I see Bob is joining us. Hi, Bob.
Looks like he's weaving right now.
Bob Lamb, Bob.
Not sure which Bob.
Okay. Hi, Katrin.
Gary, what's going on in your world this morning? Got anything to share with the folks online?
He's on mute.
Unmute.
Okay, I'm unmuted. What's going on with me today? Well, since as soon as we get off this call, working from home, I'm going to be writing up certificates so that when we reopen, we'll be able to mail out certificates in as timely a fashion as possible.
Right. Now you're working remotely in the Atlanta area, right?
Yeah. And it's springtime down here.
Wow.
So how long, I just to maybe give us some idea of the process now while we're in this situation as far as expertising, what's the status and in terms of getting certificates back to the members and others who have asked for stamps to be expertised?
Yeah, well, stamps that were in the hands of the expert committee are still there. I just had another inquiry this morning from one of the members of the expert committee asking if she should mail them in as quickly as she's done or hang on to them. I haven't had a chance to get back to her yet. That just happened. But yeah, there are questions from people who want to, expert committee members who want to send their certs back, what to do. We will be continuing to write up certificates for those opinions that are already in-house. I brought back scans of all of the application forms so I can continue to process to write up the certificates, but clearly we won't be able to mail anything out, print them or mail them until the governor tells us that we have the all clear to open up the American Philatelic Center again. So
Well, and it's of course a work in progress for you and everyone who works at APS right now. We just learned of this late last week, and we didn't have a lot of time to plan for this. So I imagine it's pretty much a work in progress, and you're gonna have to figure out things as we go along, right?
as with the rest of the world, we're taking it a day at a time, moving forward wherever it's practical and reasonable to do so. Look, everybody's individual and collective health and safety is uppermost in all our minds, and that's the way we're conducting ourselves, at the APS. So there's nothing new there, but we do need to take whatever steps we can.
Anyone have any questions for Gary?
Hey, Gary, Stan Cromlish, how are you? I missed the first 20 minutes, but
You arrived just in time.
Well, I had that pesky thing called work that I had to take care of first. But appreciate everything you're doing with the expertising. I know I'm waiting on a couple of stamps, but patience just got a little longer.
That's more important.
Yes, but very, very excited to see what we can do to get everybody together and have some expert topics like this. Nice library, by the way.
Thank you. It's my stamp room.
I heard that. Nice stamp room. Nice map of the world behind you.
Well, look at you, Stan. Look at your place. You're did you have to clean up before you came on this chat? I'm just wondering.
No, sir. That's normal for my office. This is my home office. As you can see, I've got a library myself. World War II books and Scott catalogs, and my favorite new books, 3 new books. I've got the specialized color guides, and I've got the experts book.
All right.
Who's that? Who's the author of that book?
Paul Schmid. And my other favorite, which I've been using for my Washington Franklins, is the Micarellis. So, my thing right now is trying to figure out and identify the Washington Franklins, and that's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, we had an article on the Franklins on stamps.org, and it remains one of the most popular articles that we've had posted on stamps.org, certainly over the past at least a month. So there's a lot of interest in that topic for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary, you've had, that was based on, I know you've had some expertising regarding a Franklin recently, right?
That was not part of the Washington Franklin series. That was a later group of stamps that came out, but also with Franklin's image on it. I'll tell you, though, that the Washington Franklins represent the single largest specialized area of collecting that we get expertising requests for. Incredibly complex, incredibly interesting, and also rife with fakes and similar kinds of attempts at stealing from philatelists, basically. So you got a lot of examples coming in of stamps that didn't have perforations that are now with fake perforations, and stamps that supposed to have perforations that are trimmed off to look like imperforate stamps. A lot of fakery going on out there. The Washington Franklins are especially subject to that kind of of fakery. So it's a very important area for our collecting group, for our members, to use the expertising service. We're really central to two things: to informing the collectors what they really own, and whenever we see a fake come through, we send out a request to the owner to make a contribution to the reference library for two reasons. One of which is to build the reference library's set of examples of what these fakes and forgeries can look like. And the other is just to get those album weeds, as they are called, off the marketplace. I can tell you that probably 25% of those stamps where we send out the request for contributions to our reference library, 25% of them come back to us. So members are starting to respond and help us to clean up the marketplace.
Great.
Stan, is that your major area of collecting, is the Washington Franklins?
My U.S. up to about 1940, the classic period, is my area. So I just made two big purchases for me. I'm waiting on my $5 Columbian and my $2 bridge.
Okay. Nice, real nice.
And that will finish up my Columbians and my Trans-Mississippi. So those, I love the classic era. And my little stamp story is the reason I got into collecting was my grandfather collected. He passed away in 1969. I was born in 1970. And his collection and his birthday cover collection sat in a closet at my grandmother's house for 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
I found it in 2014, and the bug bit me. So at 44, the bug bit me. And I had looked at it back in about 83, 84, 85, and my grandmother slapped my hand and said, "Thou shalt not."
Yeah.
So that was, that was the bug bit me in 2014, and his collection was full of first day covers, but he went one step further because he was of the World War II generation. He got autographs on the first day covers of the Iwo Jima set from all of the surviving flag raisers, the generals, and Joe Rosenthal. And this is Zoom. Let me go find that picture. I've got it right there. Let me see if I can share.
That'd be great.
Share right there. And survey says share photos. Let's see if we okay, hold on. I've got to grant permissions first. So let me grant okay, well, it's not there. Okay, so that's fine. So we're gonna share photos. Let me know if y'all can see my photos.
It says you've started screen sharing, but I just see a blank.
That's it. Yeah, it's spinning.
All right. So maybe it'll take a minute.
That's
Hopefully
cool.
it'll share. Okay, so somebody sees it. So in the upper left-hand corner, we've got Joe Rosenthal, Associated Press. He took the iconic picture. Ira Hayes, Corporal, United States Marine Corps. He was one of the flag raisers. John Bradley was originally thought to be one of the flag raisers, but recent history says he probably was not. Then you have Renee Gagnon down here in the lower left-hand corner. And Archibald Vandegrift, the general, is over here on the right, and then other first day covers. But the key piece of all of this, does everybody know the history of the story of Ira Hayes, other than from the
No.
Johnny Cash song?
No, no. Go for it.
Okay. All right. And after the flag raising, they brought all the survivors home for the 7th War Bond Tour. And Ira being he's a Pima Indian from Arizona. This letter in the center is from Ira Hayes's mother to my grandfather, apologizing for not getting back to him sooner. This was in March of 1955. So my grandfather and Ira Hayes's mother corresponded back and forth. These were the two correspondences I found. But in February of 1955, Ira Hayes was found dead in a ditch in Arizona of alcohol poisoning. He never left the war.
Yeah.
And basically drank himself to death. What today we would call PTSD.
Right.
World War II history is one of my favorites. And there's the letter from Nancy Hayes, and see, there's a close-up of the Joe Rosenthal.
Is everyone seeing
No, I'm
Stan's
not
screen?
seeing anything.
No,
Is anybody seeing anything?
No.
All right, so we're
Unfortunately
going to stop
not.
sharing.
Yeah, I didn't want to. You were on a roll there.
Okay, all right, so let's
Good
see if
story,
I
though.
can share. All right, I'm sharing my desktop.
Oh, there you go.
There we
there you go.
Woohoo!
All right, so hold on. Let me make this as wide as I can make. Let me view, enter full screen. All right, there we go. And let me move y'all to the side over here. All right, can y'all see?
The
Can y'all
desktop.
see that?
We can
All
see
right,
you.
and let me know when it's gone to a full view and you can see the image.
All we see is Iwo Jima.
All right, that's good. You got Iwo
Okay.
Jima.
All right.
Yeah,
So is it a center?
yeah, it's in
All right,
the
so I'm gonna
center.
stop. All right, let's stop sharing. I don't know what is going on. I'm trying here,
Hey,
guys.
that's
do
okay.
it.
That's
Try.
okay.
Try.
So we're gonna try photos again. Okay.
Okay.
So
I guess when you
I don't-
screen share, it takes over everybody's Zoom. Is that what happens?
that's what happens, and you should be able to see one big picture of, on the left is 4 envelopes, on the right is
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Not-
Unfortunately, it's
all
not.
right.
Well,
Okay.
thanks for trying.
Well,
Maybe you can work it
we
out.
can do it. We'll work it out. All right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have other sessions here.
Yeah. Stan, you sound like you know what you've worked with Zoom before, huh?
I have
Good.
worked with Zoom. I have worked with WebEx. I have worked with all of them,
Good.
and so
So you'll help us out.
I will be happy to help you out. Okay. So
Hey Stan, while you're trying to do that, Katrin, anything going on philatelically on your end of the world?
I know.
Yes, I seem to be getting quite a lot of packages from America, would you believe? Since I had the article published in American Philatelist in January, I've literally been flooded with first day covers, letters, space memorabilia. It's been amazing.
Who's
So,
the
yeah.
man? Was it the member in? Was he in Ohio?
So there was the guy
First
called
one?
Pedro Sarmiento.
Oh yeah. Tell us
Yeah.
about him.
Oh my God, he sent me just the most amazing stuff. I haven't scanned any of it in or anything. It's literally just going to be show and tell.
That's okay.
But yeah, he sent me this amazing, can you see it? A medallion that he designed.
Oh
wow.
my,
And isn't that amazing?
yes.
Yeah, and that just plonked through the letterbox. I was like, what on earth is that? But yeah, I think he worked for NASA all his life. I think he's about 80 now. And yeah, he just sent me this thing. Oh, I think you'll really like it. I was like, yes, I bloody love it. But I do exhibit my stamps now, and I've taken this to quite a few exhibits. Not taken my eye off it. But yeah, it's been a bit of a big hit with people at the museum events to come and hold and have a look at. Yeah, and he sent me this coin as well, which was made to commemorate the Apollo 11 mission. And I think it is from 1969. He's written rare on the corner. And it shows Armstrong, Collins and Aldrin on one side. And the other side, it shows them on the moon. And it says, "We came in peace for all mankind." So I just really love that. I think it's amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's just been so generous. And oh, that's him there actually. He makes his own first day covers.
Oh,
So that's him there with Neil Armstrong. Yeah, and he's just sent me the most amazing stuff. This is one of my favorite ones. It's Hale Bop. So he made this first day cover and had it stamped at Cloudcroft in New Mexico, where Alan Hale and Thomas Bopp discovered the comet in 1997. And I've just actually interviewed Alan Hale for the Society for Popular Astronomy magazine, and there's an article up now on the Sky at Night webpage about the comet. It's the 20th anniversary in July this year. So I'm actually going to send this off to Alan in, I think he still lives in New Mexico, to get him to sign it for me. So yeah. What else has he sent me? Oh, this arrived yesterday, Astrophile.
oh,
Yeah, he sent, Pedro sent me a copy. And I think he's actually written a few articles. But yeah, no, he's just been incredible. And another member called John Macco, I don't know if you know him. He sent me quite a few first day covers signed by famous astronomers. I haven't got any to hand. And this one cost a fortune. I nearly died when I had the custom charge through.
what?
So it's an album full of first day covers from Kenneth Morrison. So I think he had read my article in American Philatelist, and it's just full of Apollo first day covers and other missions that I've never even heard of. So I need to spend some time to go through them. But a lot of them have been signed by people who worked on the missions. So yeah, and he emailed me the other day and said, "Oh, I've got another package to send you." And I was like, "Oh God." I think it cost me £50, which is about $62, I think.
Wow.
I know. And when I had the card through the letterbox saying I had to go and collect this package, and I typed in the code on the internet, I was like, oh my goodness. So I did warn him this time. I said, please don't declare it's worth anything, because I can't afford it.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was a genuine mistake, and he will send me something else. So yeah, there's some. Can you see the autographs? I'm not sure who they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been really lucky. It's been amazing, to be honest, and I've been overwhelmed with everyone's generosity, and yeah, it's just nice to come home every day and I get another package from America with some really cool American stamps on it.
Well, it's the power of membership in the American Philatelic Society that people read an article like yours and are so generous with material that they have to share with you to help keep the legacy going of astrophilately, and really nice.
And I think as well, I mean, like I say, Pedro's 80 now, and I don't think his daughter or grandson are interested in stamps. So I feel like he's just kind of passing on his collection to me, you know, as much as he can. And he just said it's really nice to see someone enjoying it so much.
Right, right.
So yeah, it's been incredible.
Stan, I did see a brief glimpse of a screen share.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it again then.
Yeah.
I actually went out and installed the application. So instead of coming in using the browser. So
Yeah.
let us try this one more time. We're gonna go photos and we're gonna hit, okay, hold on. Let me come over here. Okay, what?
There you go.
All right.
We
Can
got
we
you.
see now? Good.
Yeah,
Super.
So Joe Rosenthal in the upper left-hand corner. Everybody seeing me?
yes,
Yes.
Great. So we got Joe Rosenthal, Ira Hayes, John Bradley, Renee Gagnon, a couple of first day covers, copies, it looks like to me, with autographs or copies of autographs here and here. So I'm going to see if it lets me. There we go. From Nancy Hayes, Bapchula, Arizona, box 906, and addressed to my grandfather. And she said, Mr. H.S. Cromlish. It is R.S. Cromlish, but could be the handwriting of my grandfather. And there's a close-up of Joe Rosenthal's. He was the Associated Press photographer that took this iconic picture. Ira Hayes was the Pima Indian that you heard his story. John Bradley was a pharmacist mate from Appleton, Wisconsin. In later life, he was a funeral home director. His son wrote Flags of Our Fathers, which became a movie. So if you want to get more background of this story, Flags of Our Fathers, the movie, is a good one to go look at. Renee Gagnon, he basically, after all of the fame of the Bond tour, he never captured lightning in a bottle again. And the rest of his life, he played off the fact that he had his 15 minutes of fame as one of the flag raisers, and tried to parlay that into various businesses and other such things. And from everything I've read about him, he also never left the war. And here's a better picture of the Renee Gagnon, and dadgum, that looks like dust. Okay, we're gonna skip through that. and here's the letter. And this was in March 22nd, 1955. So this was after his death. So all of Ira Hayes's stuff was taken to DC so that they could write up his life story. And she would send something when he brings them back. I have something or other written down for the same purpose. So I just thought this was pretty cool. And here's another one. And then, so she sent him this right here, and she sent my grandfather this, and it's authenticated. This was written by his own handwriting. So I don't know why she chose my grandfather to correspond with, but it's pretty cool to have this stuff.
I agree. I totally agree. That is really historic.
Fantastic, Stan. Thanks
So-
for sharing that.
You're welcome. I think I figured it out, but no, I had to actually reinstall the Zoom client to install it locally so that it would share
Right.
screen stuff.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to share?
If my camera worked, I would, but I can't. I will say one thing. I'm keeping our Wyoming Valley Stamp Club engaged. You can't see it, but I sent everybody a postcard. I sent one to APS, but eventually somebody will get it, to Ken Martin's attention.
Right.
It just says to all our, it's a 15-cent America the Beautiful postcard. And I added postage to it to make it 35 cents.
Mhm.
And it just says, hope you all are well and safe at this time of social distancing. Yeah, it would be nice to send Ron an email, Ron's our president, or regular mail, to see how you're involved with your collection, organizing, buying, reading, or just relaxing. Great material for our newsletter. Please send. And enjoy your time, I wrote. But you can't see it, so I apologize.
That's okay.
And I've been sending emails of links of things to people. We have 2 of our members who aren't members of APS out of 30 of our members. And I sent them the link to read from my computer to read the APS magazine. Trying to twist the arm a little bit. I am a chapter ambassador, so.
Right. Right. Tom, if your club is interested in a virtual meeting, I would be happy to set that up.
Well, we're
through
going
the
to
Zoom
have one
account.
this weekend. We're having one of our own. We're having a Zoom meeting this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how successful it'll be.
Well, I mean, if you would like, well, you guys can figure it out. We'd love to be able to host that for you if if possible. We have a full Zoom account. I'm not sure if you guys are on a paid plan or on a free plan. You can get more people on through our APS account. So please let me know. We'd be happy to facilitate that for you.
And I appreciate that, Tom. We only have 30 members, and I think of all our members, I know 2 don't have computers even yet. So,
Right.
age, as you know, our hobby, age is a concern.
Sure. And I don't know, if they don't have computers, they may not have smartphones. I know Zoom is you can use Zoom off your smartphone. Now the flip phone, you can actually call into a Zoom. So there's information there. Your members who don't have access to a computer or to a smartphone can call in on a Zoom. When you do the invite, you'll get all the dial-in information for that. So that might be a way to get people interested and involved.
This is very true.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Ron about it and see what he wants to do,
Okay.
and we'll email you. I'll have him
Yeah.
email.
Please do let me know. We'd love to help out with that.
And you know Ron, so Ron Bresney.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I see somebody, John has joined us. John, are you there?
His audio is connecting. I think he just got connected.
Oh, okay. John? Just getting set up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have anything else to share?
Getting back to World War II, Stan, I have a cover from Great England down to Ecuador by an American lieutenant who was looking and communicating with people in other countries about getting plants or whatever to make quinine. And
Wow.
you know, I showed it to Gary one time. I'm sure he doesn't remember because I don't remember half the things. But, he even censored his own letter, which is unusual.
What did you say, Tom? I think you faded
He-
away
he-
from your microphone there.
Yeah, he even censored his own letter. His name was Harry Thomas Sackett, and he was from the Tennessee area.
Wow.
And he sent it to Dr. Steer, who was one of our members, knew him from the Botanical Society in Brooklyn, New York. And, you know, just what I found was just so interesting about this guy. He wrote a book, can't find the book anywhere except at the War College in Dickinson. And my daughter is on their board, and she's not allowed to take the book out of the library. And I'm not allowed in to read it.
Oh.
Wow. Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah. So, you know, I've got bits and pieces of stuff, but he really, I tell you, Dr. Steer and this Sackett went to Alaska to find herbs and plants. It's an amazing story with this guy. And I also have a World War I cover from the American Library Association, American Forces in Germany, Klobetz. Now, what that was,
Wow.
yeah, it's World War I. They would just send the magazines or books, the books to various points that the soldiers could get in and get books to read. 1922.
Wow.
You know, I have other ones in here, but he was with the 12th evac. Yeah, there he is. It's just interesting. You know, I'm a cover guy. I really like my covers. Tom can tell you. I just gave him one to check out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Gary. I just gave
Covers
one to
are
Gary
cool.
to check out. And it just, to me, that's, the stamps are pretty to look at,
Yeah.
and I won't never disagree with that. But when somebody writes a letter, that's history in your hand. That's the way I feel about it. It's history in your hand.
Tom, listen to this. I mean, yeah, Tom. So just before we had to like evacuate or whatever, one of our volunteers found a letter in that dated 1755. I wish I could screen share. You know, somehow I'll show it to you. But it's fantastic. 1755, and you know, it's like he's pledging his allegiance. It's an American. Well, it was before America, but you know, it was from here, and you know, he's pledging his allegiance to England. It's fascinating.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I have a cover from just before the Civil War. It's from a postmaster in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, sending a letter to, there it is, yeah, look at that.
Yeah. 1755 to pledging his allegiance to Canterbury. Yeah, it's fast. And you can even see like remnants of the wax seal.
Yeah. Well, the postmaster sent this letter to an attorney in Philly who was running for president, believe it or not. And what happened was he was putting his support, and back in the 1800s, postmasters were like the political man. I mean, they had political power back then. So the attorney that he wrote this to, as I read, ended up that he was for slavery, and therefore he knew he wouldn't get the votes, and backed away from the election and threw his support by a guy from Pennsylvania named James Buchanan.
Huh?
And James Buchanan turned out to be James Buchanan. Anyway, it's just interesting the kind of stuff you can find with post, just an envelope, and it like that letter, a name. You know, you open it up. You know, what Rich Nichols always say, always check and feel the inside of a cut letter, because there may be something interesting in it.
I'm trying to remember who was talking about all sorts of postal history. Of course, we work at the APS, so lots of people do.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, pick a name, any name.
That's right.
Well, let me go to the opposite end of the postal history scale with an example of some modern postal history that actually happened to me. This is a letter that I sent to my grandson. My son was stationed by Walt Disney, where he works, in Shanghai for a couple of years. And I
Okay.
decided I wanted to send my grandson a birthday card. I sent him a registered letter with a birthday card and a check inside. And it arrived in China just fine. My daughter-in-law went to the post office to pick this up, and the clerk demanded, in effect, a $30 bribe to turn over this envelope.
No kidding.
Yeah, so she refused to do it, and this.
Hold it
this-
away a little bit, Gary. We're not, it's kind of soft focused. Yeah,
Okay, is that any better?
no.
All right, well,
Are there words on the cancellations there?
There you
or-
go.
yeah, but
A little bit.
the key is over here, RTS returned to sender. It came back to me 6 months later.
Oh my.
Because my daughter-in-law refused to pay a bribe to the postal clerk in Shanghai. So there's an interesting example of modern postal history and the politics at work in contemporary society. Postal
Wow.
history can tell you a lot about what's going on, even modern material.
Wow.
That's a good
Wow.
story, Gary. That's a great modern postal history story.
It's
Yeah,
all
that's-
over. It's all over.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. That's what I mean. You have instant history in your hand versus stamp. Okay, it was manufactured in 1944, first day of issue, blah, blah. You have the stamp, but was that stamp issued that day? No, I mean, mailed that day? Nah, now I have a cover that says it was,
Mm-hmm.
So we're approaching the top of the hour, so we're going to stop here. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, Executive Director Scott English will be doing an APS meet and greet on this Zoom channel. So please, for those of you who have been on here this morning, thank you very much for joining us. Please let your friends know, your stamp buddies, let them know that we're going to be doing this stamp chat with Scott English this afternoon. And in the meantime, stay safe, and we will talk to you very soon. Stay in touch,
careful.
stamps.org.
Be careful,
Thank you.
everybody. Nice talking.
Bye, everybody.
Be careful, everyone.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thanks.